Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So one quick thing I'm going to share with you, but to start off to the review is in the near future from now, I got something really excited that I'm going to present on the channel. I'm not going to say what it is now, but I got something really excited that I've been working on for a long time, and lots of work has gone into this project, and it's eventually, piece by piece, going to be presented to you sometime in the near future. But and again, I'm not gonna give away anything that it's about. But I'm gonna do in the meantime, leading up to it, I'm gonna be slowly releasing these reviews, and what they're going to be is I'm gonna review all of the Vietnam War movies that I have, and pretty much all of the Vietnam, not absolutely every single one, but pretty much all of the Vietnam war movies that have ever came out. As a history buff, I was always really interested in learning about the history of the Vietnam War, and the controversy and just the really, really unique and interesting situation that it was. And I always liked I always liked watching movies. I mean, some are better than others, of course, but I always liked watching movies that took place during the Vietnam War era. And what this thing in the near future to present is to do with this, but I'm just really excited to present that. But for now, I'm going to be reviewing, to start off, the saga of the Vietnam War movies. I'm going to review The Deer Hunter. This is a movie, I think it came out in 1973 or maybe 1975, something like that, around that era anyway. It actually won the Best Picture. It was a toss-up at the Oscars between Apocalypse Now and The Deer Hunter, and The Deer Hunter won the Oscar. It's a really long movie. Like, it's quite a very long movie, and the beginning's pretty good. Like, I like the beginning, and you're kind of getting into it, but then a little bit after, I wouldn't say near the middle, but just a little bit after, it starts to meander, and it's just sort of like they're spending too much time devoid of what the actual subject matter is, which is Vietnam. It just kind of is like these blue-collar workers just in their day-to-day lives, and it just kind of got a bit draggy after a while. I will say when it goes to Nam, though, when it takes place in Nam, it is heavy. It's powerful, very disturbing. There's a very disturbing sequence, and just some very awful things that you end up seeing. So it's pretty heavy when it takes place in Vietnam, but it doesn't last there long enough. Like, to me, one of the biggest flaws in the movie is it could use some more Vietnam. Like, it didn't. There was about a 25-minute period of time, maybe not even, that is to do with Vietnam, and then after that, well, I mean, I guess it's still in Vietnam, but again, it goes to the city again. Like, there's not enough of the actual war. It spends a lot of time on these people's lives before, and it spends a lot of time on the people's lives after, and I think it's maybe a bit too long in that sense. And especially after, I mean, things are different and things are changed for the characters, but it could have delved into some other, like, they should have spent more time even, like, with the hunting. Like, it's called The Deer Hunter. Like, there was hunting in it, but it didn't even focus in on that too much, as it should have. Like, there's some other more interesting, I think, more spiritually enlightening things that they could have delved into these characters doing after the situation. The acting performances are all really good. Like, Robert De Niro did a great job, and so did Christopher Walken as well, and all the other guys in it too. Everybody did a really good job acting. It's just, it's not, I don't know, I mean, I know a lot of people really love The Deer Hunter, a lot of people really go for it, but it's not my favorite Vietnam War movie, and it's just never really been a movie that's resonated with me as much as it has other people. There's a few really nice sweeping shots when it does take place, and when the scene, I mean, everybody knows it's a famous scene, the Russian roulette scene. Well, it's disturbing, but when De Niro and Walken finally break out of that, when they formulate their plan and they finally get the upper hand and get out of there, and it's an awesome scene. It's a powerful scene. It's like one of the best, like, revenge, justice served kind of scenes, like, in movie history. It's a bit dated because of its time. It is a bit dated, but for its time and even today, just the whole emotion behind it and how everything plays out, it's very powerful. It's a very good scene in that sense. Nearing the end, like, there's some, like, well, when they're showing some more of the hunting, there is some really nice landscapes, some beautiful, I mean, even in Nam too, it's all not, like, you can tell it's all real, it's all authentic. There's some really nice landscape shots in Nam too. But then back in the United States, there's some really, really nice mountain terrain shots that they get there, and some cool scenes of hiking and stuff like that. And so, I don't know, it kind of meandered for me, like, from watching it, I get into it because it's, like, this classic movie, and you're sort of pumped, you're like, yeah, I'm watching The Deer Hunter, so it almost starts at, like, an A, and then it starts to meander, and a bit after a while, you're like, okay, this is going down to, like, almost like a C, like, I'm just not into this anymore. And then when they get into Nam, it's like, okay, this is getting at least into, like, B+, then it goes back to A, especially with, like, the breakout scene and all of that. And then after that, it starts to slug back down to, it slowly goes down to, like, a B. And, again, by the time it finally ends, it worked its way down to, like, a B-. Ultimately, like, it rose. Like I said, it almost went down to a C for me at one point, but it rose. It kept rising, and it went to a B- near the end for me. So that would be my grading for The Deer Hunter. Yeah, as much as it's a classic, and as much as everybody seems to love the movie, it's not one that I've ever really considered one of my most favorite movies in general, let alone war movies, or especially Vietnam War movies. So B- for The Deer Hunter. Yeah, that's my review for The Deer Hunter, everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and as I said, in the near future you will see something very special, and in the meantime, look forward, amongst everything else, of course, but look forward to some more Vietnam War movie reviews. Thank you very much.